Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Heather. Good morning, Susan. How are you? So, we're super excited to have Susan with us. She's outside counsel of Fragomen, and we're going to be talking a little bit about technology and immigration law practice. And I'm chuckling a little bit when we say technology because we just had a technology glitch going live. So I'm laughing a little bit here, but we're super happy to have Susan. She's a counsel at Fragomen. She's been there since November 1998. She's a partner of ours. We've worked with Susan at several different companies, or at least I have, and I've brought Fragomen into one company that I was at because their immigration practice is just second to none. So we're super excited that she's here to talk a little bit about this topic. She is focused on setting up efficient business immigration programs and policies. She's represented numerous clients in the semiconductor, telecommunications, software, information technology, manufacturing, management consulting, banking, and oil and gas industries. Her practice includes all aspects of U.S. business immigration and employment-based immigration training for in-house professionals. She's a graduate of Texas A&M University and earned her law degree from Pepperdine. Oh my gosh, Pepperdine. If you've never been on the Pepperdine campus, it's beautiful. Anybody that ever gets a chance to go stroll on the Pepperdine campus, you got to do that. But welcome, Susan.
Well, thank you very much.
So,
very happy to be here today and very excited to talk on this topic.
Well, awesome. Well, we're super excited to have you. So, Susan, why don't you tell us a little bit about Fragomen?
Well, Fragomen is a global law firm focusing solely on immigration law. We have more than 6,000 professionals focused on immigration, and those professionals sit in offices worldwide, 60 different offices, and 19 of those offices are in the United States. Business immigration has been our sole focus for over 70 years, and today we offer support in more than 170 different countries and jurisdictions.
That's amazing. 6,000 people focused on immigration. I mean, it just shows you what a complex and all-consuming, topic this is. I know from spending time in, industry for many, many years, how much time we would spend on immigration related issues. So this is a super critical piece for companies and employees that are employing talent from all over the world, no matter if they sit in their part of the world or they're coming into the US, or we want to hire them from other companies and they're from other countries. This is just a really important part of what goes on within industry, looking at global talent. So, Heather, I was going to say Beth. I don't know why, Heather. You have a question for Susan?
Yeah, I had noticed that Fragomen had received quite a few accolades in the world of global mobility, immigration. But I also saw that the National Law Journal had featured Fragomen as one of the 2023 legal technology trailblazers. Wow. Can you talk to us a bit about why Fragomen was selected for that award?
Oh, yes, I can. This was actually the second time that the National Law Journal has recognized Fragomen on the legal technology trailblazers list. We were spotlighted for our use of innovation to help ease the daily tasks taken on by law firms and legal departments. Specifically, we were recognized by the Fragomen Technology, Inc., a subsidiary dedicated to offering innovative technology solutions to complement the delivery of the firm's legal services and to continuously improve the user experience for our clients and the employees.
That's really great, and I know Fragomen does such a wonderful job. So, as I mentioned in our open, one of the things that's really important right now is how companies and how partners are leveraging technology. Can you tell us just a little bit about how Fragomen's leveraging technology become a leader in that space for immigration?
Absolutely. Fragomen's technologies have been built on a vast interconnected knowledge of our professionals. So it's just like the 6,000 people, everybody having all these different data points and skills and knowledge and expertise. The most sophisticated technology is absolutely meaningless unless it is informed with knowledge and experience and has a gatekeeper. We offer our clients a flexible, extremely powerful platform that improves and enriches immigration program management and allows for automation that guards against errors, ensures compliance, and that integrates seamlessly with the third-party mobility vendors. Fragomen is the world's leading immigration provider, and we have been introducing and honing these new technologies since the 1980s. Leveraging technology is not new to us. It has been an area of focus for many years. In 2017, Fragomen opened an immigration technology innovation lab in Pittsburgh, with the firm having been an early innovator in the use of technology to facilitate immigration and mobility worldwide. The launching of the immigration lab really solidified the firm's commitment to leveraging technology solutions for global immigration processes and took Fragomen to the next level. It did not take long for that commitment to technology to be recognized. In 2019, our innovation lab earned a spotlight as a finalist for the American Lawyer Industries Award in a category of legal services innovation. And in 2020, we were recognized by the National Law Journal in its emerging legal technologies list, specifically for our creation of the Mail Processing Operations Center, also known as MPOC. MPOC is aided by artificial intelligence and reduces the turnaround times and improves efficiency and the user experience for our clients.
One of the things that I always loved about Fragomen was how the firm used technology, and I always really liked the fact that Fragomen had really great reporting, and that was always the issue with other immigration providers or vendors that you would go to. The reporting was always so poor, and the other thing that I loved about Fragomen was and probably makes me seem somewhat dated now being impressed by this, but I was always very impressed when you guys had your immigration toolbox or your immigration dashboard come online, where you could see where everybody was in the process, you could track things, and I always thought that Fragomen was always very much ahead of the competition in a lot of those things, and that's why I always was such a big fan of Fragomen. Was the reporting and just the technology was excellent.
Yes, and we continue to improve that very thing, the reporting, the dashboards, the insights. Those are all things that have really come a long way, and we have more real-time reporting now, as I'm going to explain in a minute when we go to the next topic.
Well, yeah, and I think one of the things right now that's super important for people is how are you leveraging the power of AI in this space to change, what's going on, in the immigration law field. So if you could talk a little bit about that, I think people would be really interested in that in terms of what it can do to make you guys more efficient, or what it can do to help somebody that's, you're trying to get a visa approved or trying to get an H-1B approved or whatever it is. How is that impacting them, and what's Fragomen doing with that?
Well, we've implemented a lot of new things, and one of them that I'm really excited about is the MPOC that we just talked about a minute ago. MPOC uses advanced technologies, including AI, electronic scanning, and optical character recognition capture, which allows us to automate the process of scanning, time stamping, government mail. The government mail contains very critical data points needed for real case management. And when we're talking about real case management in our proprietary system, once the mail is scanned, it picks up all the critical data points, data filing approvals, case numbers, and that becomes real time to our users. So our clients can actually run real time data right off our Insights dashboard. With MPOC, the government mail is scanned automatically, and the OCR captures the image and carefully defines the critical data points, which are then uploaded into the proprietary management system.
So let me ask you a question about that, Susan. So in the old days, you would essentially, mail in, or you would upload the documents, and you would. This is an old school reference, so I apologize for my our millennial viewers out there, that a lot of times it was like an inbox that sat on your desk, and there would be files in the inbox, and then people would just put files on top of the inbox. So if your file was at the bottom of the inbox, not to say anything mean, but people who weren't sophisticated employees would never go to the bottom of the inbox. They would just start at the top, and if your file was down low, a lot of times your file took forever to get looked at. So is this helping the government be a little bit more efficient in terms of looking at these files and making sure that people are not getting pushed down to the bottom by some arbitrary process that potentially is going to hold up their processing?
Well, I think what this tool does, and this is our tool, this is not the government's.
Okay.
Tool, it reads the mail. So if you can imagine during like H-1B cap season, where we used to file hundreds of cases at a time, if you get hundreds of receipts, you have to be able to scale, right? You have to be able to scale to get everything entered real time, right? So if one person's sick one day, maybe it takes 2 days to get into the system, or maybe there's so much they can't do it all in one day. With this system, it captures everything the day of, right? So there's no human element to a delay.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool. So no human is having to capture all of the information that comes in, like the job description or some of the other things that, sometimes come in piecemeal. So this system, I am assuming, captures and curates the file automatically. Is that correct?
Correct. It captures data from the government mail. And it just eliminates, really, some of us feel like, a while ago, we were just data entry, right? Because interfacing with computers, with clients, and reporting is a lot of data entry. And I think this is where these kind of tools can really, really help take us to the next level, where we're not just data entry people, right? We're really focusing on our area of expertise and not on data entry. But data entry is a very, very important part of our business.
It is, yeah, for sure.
So to be able to use these advanced technologies within the impact structure, it allows us to decrease the number of human resources handling these types of mundane tasks that were done manually before. And of course, I hate to say it, but with any human being, there is a larger chance of a innocent error, right? And so
I was just about to ask about that.
Minimizes the error rate, right? It's probably 99.9% accurate.
We should hire Heather. Heather never makes any errors. She's perfect. She would be great. She would be great for this work.
All right.
So what this does is it frees up all these resources that are highly skilled, because even I've had to do data entry before. Highly skilled resources to really focus more on our business partnerships with our clients, and to kind of curate those really hands-on kind of things that you can't do with machines, right?
Exactly.
So it also allows Fragomen to provide real-time analytics to predict how long processes will take and help set client expectations and strategies, because this is all real-time data going into a system. This technology has been a game changer for us and has set us apart from other immigration firms.
So has it helped to eliminate the calls that were, hey, did you get this file? Hey, I sent it to you. Hey, I don't see it in my file. Hey, did you send this? How has it impacted those kind of conversations, which burn up a lot of time?
Yeah, we have other technologies. Our management database now has an insights and other key parameters where you can actually monitor, like when we receive something, you upload it and it gives you the exact case status, like a checkpoint, case receipt, case being processed, case sent to the government. And then when this impact system hits, then it shows the government data that as a result of that case that we've received the receipt, and here's all the data. So yes, these kind of tools have really helped be very transparent with our clients. And yeah, the phone calls, we don't need as many phone calls, right? Because you can log right into the system and see exactly where your case is. Of course, a lot of that is still a human input, right? But eventually, I think that as we move and use more of these tools, they'll be more and more real time.
That's great. That just makes things so much easier, because this is just such a, not only is this, it's important, but one of the things that people don't always realize, if you're not, involved in these kinds of discussions or in these kind of processes, they're very emotional. It's a very emotional process in terms of what's happening with your visa, with your H-1B. Are you going to be able to stay in the country? Are you going to have to go back to country of origin? And the emotion that happens with this, especially if a document is missed or it's not uploaded in time or there's a delay, it's really difficult on people. And so anything that technology can do to improve that and make those kinds of situations, more infrequent, I think is really great.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, to that point, I think the whole purpose of taking advantage of tools is to, again, free up our professional resources to provide the hand-holding that some of these people really need to feel secure, right? They can go in now and see the case status and see everything, but if they need a little bit more hand-holding, we have the resources more available to do that at any given time.
Yeah, and it's that's super important, because if something does happen and then somebody's worried about, oh my gosh, I may have to go back. I bought a house, I bought a car, I have kids in school. What's going to happen to me? And then you have to potentially think about, is there some other thing that we can do for this individual to help them, and the time that it takes. So spending time with those kind of problem solving things is much more, I think, time well spent than, like you said, being a data entry person. So I really am glad that you have invested in that. Okay, so MPOX sounds like it's really opened the door for more advanced technologies to be adopted by the legal practice. Can you tell us a little bit about some other things that Fragomen has advanced technologies in as it relates to this marketplace?
Sure. Like I said, there's a lot of different tools, but I want to focus today on on the fact that in 2021, we acquired Nomadic, which is a provider of technology-led innovative solutions for short-term business travel compliance. We made Nomadic an integral part of Fragomen Technologies, Inc. By leveraging Nomadic technology, Fragomen has introduced innovative solutions to business travel management, from pre-travel assessment through visa applications, including compliance filings in the travel destination if necessary. Nomadic is very cutting edge. The technology includes capabilities to handling pre-travel compliance assessments by drawing on Fragomen's knowledge with data points in over 170 countries. Nomadic handles automated filings, online applications using RPA or robotic process automation to ensure a precise and accelerated process. The system also creates a unique traveler profile that securely retains traveler history and data, and removing the need for these travelers to re-enter their information every time they go to a new destination. Nomadic employs GPS functionality where desired and can be enabled to monitor the traveler's real-time location in their current immigration jurisdiction. And it also leverages API integration that can incorporate data into the tools, into client systems and reporting tools. Fragomen recognized that there was an indisputable link between short-term business travel and workplace planning given the post-COVID climate. It has become increasingly important for employers to actively manage their short-term travel programs and to know exactly where their employees are at any given time. By combining the firm's extensive knowledge and experience in the global immigration space with Nomadic technology, Fragomen has been able to provide a single cost-effective solution for our clients' global mobility needs.
So does this system help the person who's potentially trying to, cross the border from, one country to another, and then there always used to be those instances where people would be caught at the border and you'd have to do all these, gymnastic acts to get them across. Does this help in that process, Susan?
Yes, this system is is, and I'm not as familiar with the system, but the system is an automated system. It actually tracks where you're going. It automatically makes applications for the appropriate visa in the appropriate country. It also has a planning component. So yes, it does do that.
That's great, because there's nothing worse than having somebody stuck at the border and getting a call like, yeah, I can't get in and I'm supposed to be at that meeting tomorrow. And you're like, oh my gosh. So that's excellent that can help reduce those types of instances. Okay, I'm going to ask you one that, and just get your thoughts on it. And I know it's not something that we've talked about before, but so what's your view on AI at some point being able to take on the role of an immigration attorney? Because there's a lot of conversation about how AI will be able to potentially become, a lawyer in some instances. So what's your view on that?
My view, as I mentioned earlier, is that AI, I believe, is a tool. I don't think it will ever replace a lawyer in the legal industry. What will happen is, like with MPOC, we may not need 25 people doing data entry, and we have a machine doing data entry, and then those people do something else, right? I think that AI that's really popular right now in discussion is what we call the generative AI tool, which generates content. Basically, you can throw something in there, write a poem, and it will do it, right? But you're always going to need that professional behind that. Even if we use it to generate content, like to do creative writing that has no mistakes, it's perfect, you will still need to do an accuracy check. You will need to validate the data. And because of this, at least at this time, and I think in my lifetime, machines will not be taking over legal jobs. Now, like I said, I think...
Will the machines remember that you just said that and be mad at you?
They might. We'll see if Chat GPT has picked up on my conversation.
Exactly. I'm taking notes. I'm going to remember that. Right.
So AI is a huge, it's just an overreaching term for a lot of different things. But I think the hot ticket right now is the generative AI. That means the large learning model has learned enough things that it can create its own content. And then if you think about that, that's scary. And there have been some, lawyers who've already gotten in trouble by using these generative tools and not fact checking them. So
yes, we've seen that. We've talked about that, like fake cases that didn't really exist that the AI pulled out of its, proverbial, butt. So yeah, there's been a lot of those.
Yeah. And I think that really put law firms kind of like, putting kind of a ban on using the technology just until they, we can get their hands around what does this, how do we need to regulate this and how do we not get in trouble, right? So I think, I've listened to a lot of different things on AI, and I think everybody kind of feels that way. They're just trying to get their hands around it. It's relatively very, very new.
Well, one of the things that's happening, and I think that what you're doing is so important, that you're really integrating AI and you're integrating technologies into your practice. One of the things that's starting to happen is that HR, in my belief, should really be leading the way on a lot of these AI things, because I think it really impacts employees in some very, in some very large ways. And so the fact that I think that HR is shying a little bit away from AI is not great, because what's happening is I think IT is beginning to fill that void that HR should really be stepping into. And if you're an organization and you're not really embracing where AI is going, and IT is taking that on, you're going to be potentially in a situation where IT may be making decisions for AI, which really impact people in some very, very, very definitive ways. And so I think, Heather, you were on that call, and I thought that was a very good point with one of our partners yesterday. I was right. You were on that AI call. But it's really impacting people in some very, very, important ways, and there's some large ramifications. And so that's why I think HR has to really be engaged in these conversations and not afraid of AI. I mean, there is this thing that if I ignore AI and I don't think about it and we don't do anything about it, it's going to go away, which is not true. I think the more that you think about it and the more you figure out how to use it wisely, like Fragomen is, and you're the guide and you help make sure AI is implemented, correctly and respectfully in your organizations, I think that's the way to go. So I think Fragomen is a real great case study on the right way to implement AI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you'd even mentioned, Susan, you noted post-COVID climate has presented some challenges, and I'm just curious what other ways Fragomen is providing, more tech-driven solutions for you currently, especially being where we're at now after COVID.
Yes, the immigration and global mobility landscape changed considerably, because of COVID. I think we all felt that as we moved to our remote locations and had to learn how to use tools, right? And not just paper and things. One of the immediate needs that was identified as in the pandemic was starting was the need for real-time business intelligence and analytics across multiple jurisdictions. Fragomen mobilized quickly to put together what we call the Worldwide Trends Report to track the changes surrounding key drivers and themes of immigration policy worldwide. The idea was to use the data analytics, benchmarking, predictive analytics, and other BI technology to analyze several key evolving political, economical, and cultural factors. Each edition of the report covers key insights surrounding the evolving immigration policy landscape, including short-term and long-term implications for the mobility of employees and their employers. For example, at the moment we are seeing a post-COVID trend with increased adoption of artificial intelligence in immigration processes by governments worldwide. While this is providing transformative and unprecedented efficiency and precision in tasks traditionally managed by human operators, the advantage of this AI use in immigration comes with a unique set of challenges, including ensuring the accuracy of information, preventing bias, maintaining transparency in the processing, and ensuring data privacy and upholding accountability for errors. Offerings like the Fragomen's Worldwide Trends Reports allows our clients to stay up to date and informed on current and emerging trends that may impact how they do business around the world. I was fortunate enough to attend the Expatriate Management Awards in Dallas earlier this year, where Fragomen was awarded the Thought Leadership Award for the firm's work on the Worldwide Trends Report.
Well, anybody that was able to get their hands around what was going on with COVID, they deserve that award, because you would probably be one of the only few that was able to do that with the way things were changing. So congratulations on that, for sure.
Yeah, and I just want to add that, for anyone who's listening, if you're interested in the Worldwide Trends Report, you can certainly sign up to receive that, even if you're not a client, on our website at fragomen.com.
Awesome. Okay, well, is there anything else that you want to give us? Any words of wisdom, any parting thoughts around, anything else with immigration before we let you run off and solve some more problems?
Well, it was a pleasure to be here today, and I am really excited about staying way up to date on the technology trends and how these new technologies we can implement and use in our business. And just as closing, we have client portals, our portals have to-do lists, they have smart questionnaires, they have document libraries, they have mobile secure upload that uses OCR technology. And I'm just really, really excited where this is going to take us in the future. It'd be interesting to see where we are 5 years from now.
I will say that if you are a CHRO, if you are a leader in an HR organization, if you are responsible for anything that has to do with immigration in your organization, my tip for you is that you go with Fragomen. If you don't want to have to worry about immigration, if you want to make sure you have the best firm involved in this process and making sure that you can sleep at night knowing that immigration is handled effectively and everything that you want is being done, you can take that off your worry list. Use Fragomen. I love them. They've been great everywhere I've ever worked. So I'm a huge fan, and I don't endorse people lightly, but I love Fragomen. They're awesome. So if you get a chance to use them, or you can, go for it 100%.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Talk later.
All right.
See you later, Heather. See you, Susan.
Bye.
Bye.